Okay, hi there. This is the race briefing for Kuranda to Port Douglas and the Bump to Beach. So my name's Lorraine and that's my telephone number. Make sure you put that in your phone, as well as Heidi. Now, we both work full time, so you don't try to give us a ring during the week, and email's much easier. Heidi will be out at the finish line and at the start line, and I'm actually running my 10th Kuranda to Port Douglas this year. I'll flick through these slides fairly quickly so that you can and you can come back and have a look at what's going on. But the course is on, you can check it out on our Facebook page. I'll just start this again so you can watch it. This is last year, but it's the same course. So we start in Kuranda for the 64 and the relay. The relay will have 3 or 4 people. They'll change legs at 13 kilometers, then at Quaid, then at the top of the bump, and those will be the changeover spots. The top of the bump is also where the top of the bump race starts. So those guys will start at 10 o'clock. It does seem to be a very long way. And as you're hitting the top of the bump, watch going down that hill. We'll give you a map for that last 10 kilometers to get you back to the finish line. Okay, so that's just a little bit there. We do have a COVID safe plan. We have 2 and we also have a checklist, and you have to abide by these rules. We can get a fine of $6,000 if they come and check and people are not following our plan. And so that's really important to us that we get this right. Stay at home if you're sick, keep your social distancing, and that's about it. Clean your hands with sanitizer. You need to check in. We do not have a check-in on the day of the race. Everyone that turns up should have checked in the day before. So you turn up, you grab your bib and you go. No standing around, no socializing at the start or at the finish. When you finish, you take your medal or your gift if you have if you're a winner, and you go home. If you need to catch the bus, well, then you have to wait. Sorry. And but yeah, we really need to know if you're not going to turn up, because we've got nearly 120 people in the race at the moment. So we're not hanging around to tick off attendance on the morning. So please, you have to send us a text message to Heidi if you have checked in on Saturday and then on Sunday morning you do not arrive. So that's quite important for us, just so we're not looking for someone that never turned up. A big thank you to our sponsor, who is Trinity Beach Pharmacy. They've helped us out for many years now, so please support them if you get an opportunity. Competitors at this stage, we've got 63 in the solo, 10 teams. 2 teams have got 3 members, and the other teams all have 4. And we've got 17 in the bump to beach. Your mandatory gear, I'm going to move this over because this is important. You need to have 2 of these heavyweight bandages if it's the 10-meter ones, not centimeters. Yeah, 10 centimeters wide. That one's more than double the length. This one that's called a snake bandage, and it's quite stretchy. So it's actually probably the better one to have. You can buy that at Trinity Beach Pharmacy. We're going to give you that map. You need to be able to carry water. There are no cups anywhere. There's no cups on the course. So if you want some tailwind from our checkpoints, you have to be carrying your own hydration system. That can just be a bottle, or it can be a backpack, whatever suits. You also need to have enough nutrition to support you for the entire event. We do have little bits and pieces at our aid stations, but that is not going to be enough. If you're an early starter, you need a head torch because it's pitch black dark at 5 o'clock. It's still dark at 6, but the guys starting at 6, you'll be okay because it starts getting light pretty quick, so you're not in the dark for very long. You can collect your bib. There are some locations there, so Thursday night, Saturday at our regular park run location, or on Sunday morning. See, you don't have to go out of your way, you can just pick it up on Sunday morning, but we are trying to avoid that. And Sunday, anyone on the bus will, for the Kuranda to Port as well as Bump to Beach buses, you will get your bib on the bus, which will help in order for us, our check-in. So when we so we don't stand around too much when we're ready to go. So check the list for the transport, because if your name's not on that, you are not coming on the bus. And I've sorted out the early starters, so there's only 4 of us that are that need transport on to get going at 5 a.m. Cairns Colonial Club or Smithfield, we need to know which one you're at, but we're not waiting, right? 5 o'clock, that bus is gone. You don't get there by 5. I hope you got an Uber guy lined up, because you won't be coming to the race with us. Transport to Bump to Beach, meet at Port Douglas Life Saving Club. That's where we finish, so your car's going to be there, and when you finish your race, you go home. Leave your stuff in your car, and yeah, off you go. You can, if you're driving there, you're not going to be able to go back to your car. It's a very long way. 17 kilometers may not sound like a long way, but it takes about 45 minutes to drive there, and then it takes it's a long way up that bump to get back to your car. If you leave it at the top of the bump, we're all gone. So there's not going to be anyone to take you back there. Transport from Port Douglas back to Cairns. I don't remember the numbers, but in terms of when we're going to organise the transport, it's going to be probably around about 3 o'clock. So some of you may have been sitting around for 2 hours by now waiting for the bus. Please, if you organise transport with someone else to go home early, that's okay, but please don't go without telling Heidi, because we run around going, where is this person, where is that person, and in the meantime you're already in bed or having a nice hot bath while the rest of us are stressing out. So you're probably going to find yourself a couple of running buddies on your way back to Port Douglas, and organise a lift with one of them to get home, which is fine. But please, you need to let Heidi know when you get in, you need to tell her what your plans are. So she's got a list, and make sure that when that bus is ready to go, it's probably going to be a maxi cab. When it's ready to go, we don't leave you behind. Anyone that don't fuss about the 3 p.m. bus, okay? If you miss it, don't fuss. We will get you home. We'll sort something out. We normally have quite a few volunteers at the finish line that help us to get people home. Start times and locations. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You should know where the race starts. And Kennedy, that's a typo there. It's not Kenny Highway, it's Kennedy Highway. Just get to the start line 15 minutes before your departure, so that we don't have people congregating and standing around. There is going to be a change for the teams. You are leaving at 5:45. Not 100% sure how well that's going to work, because we're trying to get you away before the bus from town arrives with nearly 40 people in the bus. So we're trying to get you guys all out of the way before we have our 60 competitors. Well, there will be 50 competitors that's going to be starting at 6 o'clock. So we're just trying to spread people out. We're also trying to get those relay vehicles away. So that there might be up to 10 cars there for the 10 relay teams, and we want those vehicles to go. So they need to get out of the way before the relay team can go, and the relay team's got to go before the bus gets there. So the time frame is tight. There's no Portaloo. We're just going, do your business before you come up the range, because we we just can't congregate in that area. It's get out your car, get on the start line and go, pretty much. And Bump to Beach, guys, you're going to start at 10 o'clock. Left luggage. So yeah, if you've got some luggage at the start line that you want to go to the finish, that's okay. Put it in the box. Please be mindful that there are 60, nearly 100, and well, there's probably going to be 60 people or more that want to get stuff to the finish line. So please just be mindful about how much you want to put in that box. We have not got boxes big enough for you to bring your entire suitcase full of stuff. Okay, you do need some warm gear because you might be hanging around the finish line for a couple of hours. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. Have a bit of cash or a credit card with you as well, because there is a place where you can go and have something nice and warm to eat. But yeah, just pack smart, because Heidi's car is not that big, so she can't fit 60 suitcases in the back of her boot. The relay teams, we're not worried about you. Bump to Beach, we're not worried about you. And bring some snacks and stuff at the finish line, some recovery gear. There's 2 drop boxes, one at Quaid and one at the top of the bump. You are only putting in that drop box exactly what you can eat. From Quaid to the top of the bump is 21 kilometers. How much can you possibly eat in 21 kilometers? That's how much you put in that drop box. And the same, from the top of the bump to the finish line is only 17 kilometers. How much do you possibly need? That is a bare minimum stuff you're putting in there. Again, we've got 60 people. We have not got our box, I'm not kidding, is this big. All right, it's like one of the normal plastic boxes. So do not bring eskeys and a whole bunch of stuff. Go and read the competitor information, because it sets out the rules very clearly. Don't put fruit in there. It's going to get all squashed. Don't put your socks and your shoes and all this, none of that sort of stuff. You're just putting a few little packets of Tailwind and maybe a banana if you really have to. We're going to give you a banana at the checkpoint anyway, so you don't even need your own banana. We've got bananas for you. At the checkpoint, you need to make sure your name is ticked off, except for the highway. If you are fairly late through the top of the bump, so if you get to the top of the bump after about 12 o'clock, it's likely that the person that is on the highway checkpoint's gone home, okay, by the time you get there. So don't fuss too much about that one. But you need to get your name ticked off. And for the teams, we need to know who's coming in and we need to know who's leaving. So the guys at the checkpoints at Quaid and top of the bump record your time you come in, and they record the time you go out. So we need to know who's in and who's out, so we know exactly who is on the course for everything. There is water about every 5 kilometers, except for that Twin Bridges. So you get to Quaid, you run 21 kilometers to get to the top of the bump. That's leg number 3 of the relay, and it's obviously in the middle, sort of in the middle section of the ultra, the 64 solo. But there's no water barrels in there, right? We can't get a vehicle in there. You get injured in there, we have to walk in to get you out. Before we have to drive to Gelatin to get mobile reception, then we have to come back, and then we have to wait for the SES, and then we have to walk in to go get you. So have your snake bandages, please. Carry the mandatory gear. Have enough water on you. You will cross over a creek. The creeks are quite pristine. Take your own water purification tablets if you need to, but it's a long way before you get to that creek. So you do not want to get caught out in that section without water. No vehicles allowed in there, so we can't come in there. We have no key to get through the gates for that section. We have put in a cutoff at just the entrance into the beach. Seriously, we've never had anybody. Well, once was close. I drove. I was going to pick those people up because they were walking and I was not impressed. No, not walking. They were walking the entire race. Okay, so this is not a walking race. This is a running race. Fair enough if you're slow. We don't have a problem with that. But it's highly unlikely anybody is going to be at the beach entrance at that time. And I'll come and get you. So I have to get to the finish myself first. Then I have to stand around and sort things out, and then I have to get in my car and drive to the entrance to the beach to see if there's anyone left over that hasn't actually got there. So we say 4 o'clock, but it's quite fluid at 4 o'clock. It's going to be 4 or later. But do not stress about that cutoff. It's the same as don't stress about missing the bus at 3 o'clock. Those are not things that you need to invest any energy, any mental energy into, right? Because it's not, we just have to do that for safety reasons in terms of that cutoff, because we cannot have people running in the dark along the beach. If you get to the beach entrance at 4 o'clock, it's going to probably take you another hour or something or more to get to the finish line. It's only 4.8k, but it's a misery. I don't care what distance you're doing. It's not fun. So when you come across the finish line, please make sure that you get your bib number recorded. Like, make an effort to go up to Heidi or whoever's on the finish line recording bib numbers and say, do you have me? Because we have missed people. I don't know how, but some people do not finish through the flags, all right? There's cones, there's flags. You go through the cones, through the flags, and you talk to the person that's recording the stuff about the race, okay? Some guy was one year was just sitting on the side, and we said, who's that guy? He's like, oh, yeah, okay. We didn't even have him recorded as a finisher. If you're a podium finisher, grab your prize before you go. Heidi's pretty clued up with that, so she'll sort you out. There is a medal for everyone, but the medals haven't arrived. Today is Tuesday. The race is on Sunday. So let's hope China is faster than what they think they should. Well, what I think they should be. There are some ribbons, but more than likely only going to get that after the race. Mail that out. The weather, oh, Sunday, you can't see Sunday's weather. I hope it's rainy. It can be quite miserable if it's raining. You can get quite cold at the finish line. You're going to be fairly cool up on the tablelands. So all from Kuranda all the way to the top of the bump, there's no problem. It's hardly any sun. You're in the shade most of the time. But once you hit that top of the bump, if the sun's out, that is not a good day, because you're going to get sunburned, you're going to get hot. And it's miserable once you hit the bottom of the bump, because it's 10k on the flat, plus 4.8k or something on the beach. The beach is hard sand, so you don't have to fuss about that. And that's it. All right. So if you have any questions or you're not sure, email is the easiest. And please don't phone Heidi at this stage, because she is working. Give me a ring if you really have to, but you'll probably get my phone, my message bank, because I also work full time. So we struggle to try and get to people on the phone. Right. Thanks.